MXD Under 19s Moto 2. It's time to go for the last time of the day here at Appin.
And we're looking right now, all of the mechanics are off the back end of the grid. The green flag has been walked across the starting line. As we spoke about before, we're waiting for those heads to dip down. Now, Caleb Barham grabbed 2 hole shots at the opening round of the series at Horsham. He's on the SD3 Husqvarna. He hasn't been able to do so this morning. Will we see the number 16 back out in front in Moto number 2? We also need to keep an eye on the red plate number 7 of Connor Tierney and the 43 of Mitchell Evans. We're waiting for the gate drop, and there we see a bunch of, I believe that was a red fender out in front. It's actually the orange fender of Wade Kirkland on the race line. Pirelli KTM, the number 5 machine with the early lead. Trying to spot them through. That's Connor Tierney back there in second position. I believe that may be Billy Harvey, 887 in third place. As they come through, we'll try to pick up some of those numbers. It is Kirkland out in front. And I do believe that possibly quite hard to see that second place rider's number. Getting dropped a position there. Connor Tierney now up into second place as they head up towards the step-up section of the track. Now, Wade Kirkland was one of the riders who had an impressive Moto 2 at Horsham, finishing second behind Connor Tierney. He's now coming under pressure from Tierney early on. The Tasmanian rider out front. He always played bridesmaid quite a fair bit during his junior career to Hunter Lawrence. On screen, as we said, a bit of information about Wade Kirkland, our race leader. Second position, Connor Tierney will try to pick up that third place rider. We are looking for the Yamaha Racing Team riders of Mitchell Evans and Jordan Hill.
Now, this is bad news for the Yamaha team. As you see, Kirkland jumps all the way over the extension. To see Tierney and Kirkland out front this early, we do not see Mitchell Evans, we do not see Jordan Hill. And at this stage, giving Tierney track position this early to chase down Kirkland is definitely bad news for Evans, who really needs to try to make up some points and try and take Moto wins away from Tierney. So as we see on camera right now, Todd, that Wade Kirkland, a little mistake, that's all Connor Tierney needed, and he has zipped through, executed a perfect inside pass, and that's the pressure that Tierney puts on these guys when he's out front, Todd. He is stalking Wade Kirkland, and that's just experience there. You know, Kirkland got a little out of shape. He's definitely pushing hard, but Kirkland's going to make a run back here. Tierney's actually going to go wide, bit of a bold move, but Kirkland's not really going to make that stick on the inside. I believe that's a Yamaha rider in third now. Is that Mitch Evans, Todd?
Trying to spot through that number as they make their way to the right-hand Yamaha turn. Small bubble event again there for Wade Kirkland. Now this is very similar to what we saw at round 1 at Horsham. Oh, massive moment there from Wade Kirkland. Now we'll try and get a grip. There's the 88 of Jordan Hill. There's the 43 of Mitchell Evans. We then go back to the 237 of Zach Small, the 17 of Cooper Posniak. Justin Hart next in line. We also see coming through, they're trying to pick up those numbers. We see Travis Silk. A bit of a move being made there. We saw Sam Pels coming through, Tyler McCoy in there as well. So those numbers funneling through very quickly. We now transfer our focus back to our race leader, Connor Tierney. Second position, Wade Kirkland. As we said, Jordan Hill and Mitchell Evans in third and fourth. So those 3 heavy hitters we spoke about with the experience from last year up front. Now it's just a matter of whether or not Mitchell Evans and Jordan Hill can chase down the Western Australian of Connor Tierney. Tierney doing exactly what we'd hoped to see in this second moto after such a dominant performance at Horsham, making it up and over the step over there, up on the pegs, quite late into the turn, dropping a foot there as they're going to make their way up the Spicy Happy double. The red backgrounds on that Husqvarna looking very good at the moment, I must say.
Yeah, they sure are. As we head down one more time with Connor Tierney into the Thor VIP section, Kirkland's definitely keeping him honest here, Todd, but those little mistakes like getting kicked over the front of the bike, drifting wide in some of the corners, you know, Tierney's just seemed a little bit more drilled and disciplined here, looking ahead and keeping his lines held. But that red plate, he's doing it justice right now. And the Yamaha riders of Jordan Hill and Mitch Evans really need to get up quickly. As there we see Jordan Hill making a move. I believe the 2 riders will switch riding gear after the first moto, which is making it a little tough to identify them as their individual names. But normally the team riders wear the same gear and it makes life a little easier for the commentators. But right now they're just switching it up and throwing a little bit of challenge to us here, Todd, in the booth.
Those typical MXD riders, those young fellas. No, the Mitchell Evans and Jordan Hill have spent a little bit of time testing together at the start of this year with the likes of Scott Bishop, Mike Warden, Corey Hilsey, and Mike Ward actually the mechanic for Jordan Hill this year, as we're going to get a bit of a view of our top three. There we see Connor Tierney. Jordan Hill now up into second. Wade Kirkland relegated back to third, and we've lost Mitchell Evans. So fourth now is Zach Small. Fifth, Cooper Posniak. Sixth place, there is Mitchell Evans. Seventh place, Justin Hart. Eighth will be Luca Bella. Ninth place, trying to spot them through. 10th looks like it's Caleb Barham on the SD3 Husqvarna. Very hard to see those numbers at the moment. We see, by the looks of it, the 117, the 115 coming through. There's the 311 of Ryan Kenny. We see the 121 of Tyler Bullen coming through the field as well. And back with the focus now on the 88 of Jordan Hill. He's starting to apply that pressure on Connor Tierney. Wade Kirkland sitting back there in third position at the moment as they make their way around the Kawasaki right-hand turn. Now Hill able to get up and over the Moto Online double. Connor Tierney starting to hear. He will no doubt be hearing the back of that, the YZ250F all over his rear wheel. They're now going to come towards that small split section before the tabletops. Now for Jordan Hill, he spent the majority of 2015 as a privateer Yamaha rider, having a bit of support from Yamaha Australia before getting picked up by what used to be called the GYTR Yamaha team, and raced for them in the Supercross Championship before being given a permanent ride with the now named Yamalube Yamaha racing team. Still under the watchful eye of Scott Bishop in 2016, and Jordan Hill at the moment trying to take advantage of Connor Tierney as we are approaching now the mid-stage of this 20-minute plus one-lap moto.
Yeah, and if we continue to talk about Jordan Hill here, Todd, I really like his story as far as I love it when you see these young kids maybe don't have a factory ride coming up, privateer, traveling with the family. They get that call up, to the old GYTR team, now the Yamalube team. Jordan Hill does what he has to do, gets them fantastic results in Supercross, and then he gets the full-time ride here in MX Nationals for 2016. That's how it's supposed to go when you get that opportunity and you take advantage of it. So it's really encouraging for me to see Jordan Hill pushing forward. A little bit surprised that Tierney's not dominating as much as we saw him at Horsham. I think these guys have had a couple of weeks to do their homework, and like I said, the nerves have settled, and Jordan Hill really wasn't the challenge in Moto 1 to race winner Mitch Evans. But this race, we're seeing Hill challenging Tierney for a Moto win as opposed to Evans out front. So interesting to see the dynamic changing. That's a little bit of that inconsistency we're talking about. Very interesting also to see that these guys are getting over the triple step over, and Wade Kirkland is still right there in third. So there's a lot of racing to go here.
And these three have just slipped away from the rest of the field. It looks like Angus Gelly there on the privateer Yamaha had issues as Billy Harp was making his way through. Now, we spoke about it this morning. Tierney's lap times, although he was out front at Horsham, Mitchell Evans and Jordan Hill sat very close in terms of those lap times throughout their motos, trying to make their way through the field. So Scott Bishop wasn't too fazed by that, in the fact that they didn't have the results on paper, but their speed was good. Jordan Hill is trying to prove that right now. Tierney still sitting out in front, Hill in second, and Kirkland just stalking them back there in third, holding on to that position at the moment. And they've checked out from the rest of the field and try to get a view of the top 10 as they come through this lap around. And Tierney through the three rollers. Jordan Hill just sitting there behind him at the moment, watching the lines, trying to pick up where he can make any moves on Connor Tierney. And we go back to Wade Kirkland in third. Now we'll get to run through the field for you guys at home in the Pirelli MXD class. Fourth position, there we see it, is Zach Small. Fifth place now is Mitchell Evans. Relegated back to sixth is Cooper Posniak. Seventh place, Justin Hart. We're waiting for eighth place to come through right now. That's Luca Bella. Ninth is Caleb Barham. Rounding out the top 10. Trying to spot, I wasn't actually sure of that number there as they came through. The rest of the field coming through, we see the 46 of Hugh McKay. Also looks like the 225 of Brendan Walther. The 115, we see the 21 there of Tyler McCoy. We also see the 213 machine. That's Cade Taylor, one of the young riders from New South Wales. And back to the battle up in front. Jordan Hill still sitting there in second position. Connor Tierney got that comfortable padding at the moment as they head back towards that Moto Online uphill double.
We are now 9 minutes in to this second 20-minute plus one lap moto here as we head down one more time. Connor Tierney out front in the Thor gear, heading very suitably to the Thor VIP section in this Pirelli MXD moto. Jordan Hill behind him on the Yamalube Yamaha racing team. Very impressed with this ride by Hill. very impressed by this ride by Tierney as well, Todd. But what we're seeing here is Kirkland still there in third. This is a solid ride for Wade Kirkland, and this is the second time we've seen this now in the second moto. So it seems like Kirkland going to these venues that he competed at Appin last year in the Rising Star Rookies class. It seems like it takes him a little bit of time in qualifying in the first moto to really get a feel for the track. But from there, once he does get these tracks figured out, his starts are on point in Moto 2, and I mean, he's had some really great results so far.
And Wade Kirkland, as we spoke about at Horsham, was one of those riders that through his junior career, he spent quite a bit of time on the stock bikes and running the mismatched gear and all of that kind of thing. So for him to get the support from Chris Woods and the Raceline Pirelli KTM team for 2016 has been a massive help. He's got the mechanic Dylan Pilgrim on board for 2016. And at the moment, he's showing himself to be the I guess you would say, the rising star of the rookies. We had also Cooper Posniak last round with those good starts. So these two riders are really shining through for those guys, stepping up out of juniors now. We spoke about it before as well. Wade Kirkland, one of those riders that doesn't do as much off-bike training, more focuses his time to riding the bike itself. He hasn't got to spend too much time testing the Raceline Pirelli KTM from 2016, but he said it is by far the best bike he has ever ridden. They just throw on a few trick bits and it's done its good for Wade Kirkland, as he's now starting to close up onto the back of Jordan Hill. We may see a three-rider battle for the race lead.
Let's look at that, Wade, Todd, and let's keep talking about Wade Kirkland real quick. You know, that old school, attitude that he has where he just rides a lot. He was never really concerned about how good he looked coming up through the ranks. Like, he just wanted to win, and he would ride the wheels off any practice bike he had at home to get there. That's that old school attitude where kids like him, they really do adapt well in pressure situations usually when they get the opportunity to get onto a team. So you see the difference in him this year. Played the bridesmaid to Hunter Lawrence so often in his junior amateur career, and then he gets the factory support, he gets the race day technician, the race day mechanic, can do a little bit of testing, but for him, coming off of basically standard bikes he would have ridden coming up and then jumping on this machine, to him, all of a sudden it's just a dream come true and he's going to take advantage of it, So again, same as Jordan Hill, getting that ride and really taking advantage of it and showing people what he can do. That's what Wade Kirkland's doing right now, so can't say enough about his effort here, and looking for Wade Kirkland to have, a good, as you say, he's sort of the graduating star rookie here so far this season, and taking it to guys like Jordan Hill and Connor Tierney is no easy thing with a year under your belt at this professional level in the MX Nationals.
And it looks like he's just lost touch a little bit from those front two, not by a lot, but just enough so that Jordan Hill doesn't have to worry so much about defending his line, and he's now trying to move to the attack sort of position right now. As Tierney is defending his lines quite well as they move through the left-hand corner down into our Husqvarna left-hander. So we got the U-turns basically in this center part of the track. Jordan Hill still on that back wheel, making their way over the step over. He's going to move to the inside, and we see some of those very rutted corners that we spoke about in the lead up to this. We see the pass for the lead now being made as Jordan Hill relegates Connor Tierney back to second position, as we're now heading towards the closing stages of this 20-minute plus one lap moto. Can Jordan Hill maintain his position out in front, or can Connor Tierney remount a charge? We'll try to get eyes on our top five in the next lap through, with the likes of Mitchell Evans still not certain exactly what happened to the Yamaha Racing Team rider, as they're coming through the modal right-hand turn towards the finishing line area. More of the kind of result we expected to see from Jordan Hill entering 2016.
This is certainly a coming of age for Jordan Hill here, capitalising on that Supercross success, and now we see him with about 6 minutes plus one lap to go. So we definitely have a lot of racing here. It'd be interesting to see if Connor Tierney is going to mount a charge. We've seen all day that the riders in second do mount a counter-attack, as Wade Kirkland's there in third. We're looking for the fourth place rider now to come through in the Pirelli MXD Moto 2 of the day. So quite a long ways back, and we're looking for the fourth place rider still. That is Mitch Evans. So Mitchell Evans has definitely had some trouble, some issues, maybe a crash off camera. Then it's Posniak, Zach Small, and Justin Hart coming through there to round out your following positions. Caleb Barham and then Luca Bella coming through.
And we're waiting. There was a big group of riders next to come through, separated by quite a ways. That'll be Travis Silk, followed through by Lockie Latimer. the 602 machine, waiting for the next rider to come through. That's still trying to find a name for that number. We keep missing them. Next is through is Hugh McKay. We then have, by the looks of it, possibly the 28 machine. I think it may have been. We have to look in there also for the 500 of Jimmy Griffin. There we saw Cade Taylor, Brendan Walther. We also saw in there Ryan Kenny. There's Wyatt Fogarty, Tyler McCoy coming through. The 121 of Tyler Bullen. So one name I was looking for. There's the 127 of Corey Watts. The 139 of Lawson Preston. And I believe that may have been the 168 of Zane Dunlop coming through. And it was the 116 we saw as well. Sam Pells that came through the field there as well. And Jordan Hill still up in front. Himself and Connor Tierney with the 1 and 2 positions as they make their way through the rollers once again. Now, we spoke about it before. For Jordan Hill and for Mitchell Evans, what they needed to do was beat Connor Tierney consistently to try and start to cut down that championship points lead. But right now, for Mitchell Evans, outside of the top 5, he's not able to do so. And with this being the Pirelli MXD class, it is only fitting, ladies and gentlemen, that we take a short break and bring back the rest of the action shortly.
Yeah, I'm really happy with my Pirelli tires. They work really good on the track in all conditions, in the hard pack, and the tires are just awesome on the track.
I choose Pirelli because I believe their success in Europe can also come over here to the USA. I hope to be a massive part of that.
I choose Pirelli because of their racing spirit. They're leaders in all types of motorsports, and motocross and supercross are no different.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final moto of the day here, the Pirelli MXD Under-19s Moto 2, and you're looking at the race leader here, Jordan Hill, on the Yamaha racing team, formerly known as the GYTR Yamaha Junior Development Setup, or should I say Junior Development Progression from the YAIM team to GYTR team, now known as Yamalube Yamaha. And Jordan Hill, Todd, like we was just discussing, for himself and Mitchell Evans, they both needed to beat Connor Tierney regularly now to make up those points. Unfortunately for them, they've split beating him between the two riders. So for Tierney, he's still scoring really solid championship points here, and he's actually throwing some hooks into the backside of Jordan Hill with what looks to be about 2 to 3 laps to go here.
And if they are to continue as they are at the moment, Jordan Hill would take the overall round win by only 1 point though. So cutting that championship lead, as I said, only 1 point doesn't really make a difference as we head to round 3 for Broadford. In 2 weeks' time, Mitchell Evans will lose more points in the championship run. As we see Tierney at the moment, as we spoke about this morning, he's getting support from Ryan Marmont this year with the bike development. He's also got Lachlan Staunton, I believe it is, the mechanic for him on the pit board. Very close in the late stages of this moto for Jordan Hill and Connor Tierney. We're now looking to approach that 18-minute mark in this 20-minute plus 1 lap race, the second moto of the day for the Pirelli MXD class. NRG TV, exclusively on demand at round 2 of the 2016 Motul MX Nationals here in Appin at the MacArthur Motorcycle Club. As our race leaders head up the Alpine Stars Hill into the left-hand, the Husqvarna left-hand turns. We see Tierney up on the peg, still quite late into the turns at the moment, still making their way up and over the step over. Third position at the moment, still quite a ways back. It was Wade Kirkland on the race line, Pirelli KTM. Now Kirkland in that first moto finishing back there in 7th position. That will still be solid points for the 16-year-old from Scarmander in Tasmania.
Now looking at this battle here, Todd, I tell you who I would not want to be in these closing few laps, and that's probably Jordan Hill, because Connor Tierney is stalking him. Definitely isn't on him just yet, but Jordan Hill cannot get caught up with a lapper. He cannot make one mistake, because if he does, Tierney's going to jump on him and he's going to make the move. There's only a few bike lengths between them, and looking at the watch now, we definitely will have 2 laps to go. So with 2 laps to go here, it's definitely a little close for comfort to have Connor Tierney this close to the race leader Jordan Hill. And with the 2-lap board, with the 1-lap board comes the added pressure, the lap riders, there's all sorts of things that come into play. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Todd, but I believe this will be the first moto win in MX Nationals for Jordan Hill.
I think a few changes came for Jordan Hill late last year, but making the switch to, as we spoke about before, that GYTR Yamaha team. He didn't really get too many outstanding finishes in the MX National Series, as we see third place coming through there, Wade Kirkland. He's on that race line, Pirelli KTM, as we spoke about before. His team manager, Chris Woods, will be very happy with this result. Still waiting for that fourth place rider to come through. There we see Mitchell Evans, the far north Queenslander. We spoke about him being the rider to beat coming into this championship. Cooper Posniak back there in 5th position on the Newcastle KTM. 6th place, Zach Small on the Husqvarna development ride. And we scan back now to Jordan Hill. Late in this moto, we should see Connor Tierney there. We see just skipping into the background of the screen. These two separated by less than 2 seconds. And Hill looking very smooth and calculated at the moment. His mechanic Mike Ward will be hanging off the pit board, giving him all of the information he needs to try to close out and pick up this race win. As they head back over the 2 tabletops through the centre part of the track. One rider we haven't seen as far up front this weekend has been Caleb Barham, who scored those 2 hole shots at Horsham just 2 weeks ago.
Both Barham and Posniak definitely not struggling a little bit here, Todd, but they're definitely not as far up the pointy end of the field as they was at round 1. So I'm not sure what we can attribute that to. As the last lap board comes out, we have 1 lap to go here for Jordan Hill and Connor Tierney to battle out for this final moto win of the day here in the. I think we just saw Connor Tierney go down in that last corner before the finish. So I think Jordan Hill is going to ride away to a huge lead win. Yeah, Connor Tierney's gone down. So Tierney has made this last lap a little boring for us, Todd. I believe he's going to hold on to 2nd position. So now I've got the whole lap to talk about Jordan Hill and the Yamalube Yamaha riders' first win in the MX Nationals.
Now if we can we'll try and get a bit of footage to see where Connor Tierney is, but I do believe as they sit, he should still be in 2nd position. Now, if that is the case, then Jordan Hill will decrease that championship, I should say minimise the championship lead from only 32 to 31 points. So still a massive buffer from Connor Tierney. Our rider on screen still in 2nd position. He's going down that knobby downhill. He hasn't lost too much time from Jordan Hill. Maybe a small bobble there late in the race. But all eyes right now are on the Yamalube Yamaha Racing Team rider of Jordan Hill as he heads over the Spicy Happy extension for the final time at round 2 of the 2016 Motul MX Nationals. Scott Bishop, the team manager of this, what we would call, I guess, a stepping stone for the Yamaha ranks. They move from the Wyang Development Series up into the Yamalube Yamaha Racing Team outfit for the MXD class, then to Serco Yamaha in the Motul MX2 field. And the Thor MX1, they have the CDR Yamaha team. And it's looking like 1 corner left to run as he heads through the rollers for the final time. He's going to make his way through the Motul right-hand turn and to collect his first race win of the 2016 Motul MX Nationals. It is Jordan Hill, and he should be taking the overall round win. 2nd place coming through now will be the red plate holder. 2nd overall for the day, Connor Tierney aboard the Husqvarna 250F. 3rd position. We're waiting for our 3rd place rider to come through quite a ways behind the Raceline Pirelli KTM. There he is, Wade Kirkland, the Tasmanian, the 16-year-old. 4th position to come through next. It should be Mitchell Evans. As we see him panning through the screen just in the background there. There we have the 43 machine of Mitchell Evans in 4th. We'll round out through our top 5, Cooper Posniak, and we'll be back with you in a few short moments.